Good morning from sunny Bali. It's 10 o'clock here and I'm feeling a little bit rough. My girlfriend flew in from Australia yesterday to surprise me for my last week in Bali, which was fantastic, but we may have put in a decent effort at the duty-free gin. So please forgive me this morning if I don't make sense or jitter my words a little bit. I have had sleep, but I wouldn't call it restful unless comatose is restful. So this week's Snapshot of Faith with the Unlikely Pilgrim is about interfaith relationships. So the reason why I want to talk to you today about interfaith relationships is because I was at a service this week, and the preacher was talking about different ways that we could be thankful in our lives, in our business, our career, our relationships with our family, our community. And in this relationships section, he suggested that as Christians, we should date and go on to marry other Christians, which surprised me at the time, and I was taken back by that, and just let him, finish his speech and heard him out. But it got me thinking about interfaith relationships and also interracial relationships. And I think that, for a world that has come so far with accepting and having tolerance of people choosing a partner that isn't a cookie cutter copy of themselves, is a triumph and something that we should absolutely continue to work towards. And so I was quite frustrated by this message from him, and he didn't harp on about it for a long period of time, but it was certainly clear to me that the best bet would be to date and marry a Christian, as a Christian. And I thought, okay, so that to me is like saying, as an Australian, I should only marry an Australian, or as a blonde, I should only marry a blonde, which is ridiculous when you say it like that. But that's certainly the message that I heard. And whether or not that's what he was trying to get across, I will absolutely challenge him on that when I speak to him later on in the week. But it was something that sort of crossed my path and was on my mind all week. Oh, butterfly. And here in Indonesia, if you choose to, or you want to marry somebody of a different faith, there's actually a law where you have to decide as a household which one you're going to be. So if you're a Muslim and you want to marry a Hindu, that's absolutely fine, but you have to pick a faith for the household. So it doesn't have to be Islam, it doesn't have to be Hinduism, you just have to pick one. And I'm certainly not naive enough to think that raising children in an interfaith household would be an easy ask. I think that, there'd be very challenging conversations and real teamwork of the parents to make that work. But I think it's definitely doable. So to be told that my best bet as a Christian to find a suitable life partner is to only look in the Christian pond, I think was quite irresponsible, to be honest. And I was in Singaraja recently, and I was speaking to a woman in the temple about this very subject, and she was a Muslim living in Java and married a Balinese man. And so she converted to Hinduism. And I said to her, how did you do that? Because, my belief in Jesus and my faith and following, I guess, of the Christian story is so pure and true in my own heart that I don't think that I would ever be able to change that just for the sake of marriage and because, you know, the Indonesian government tells me I have to. And she said, you know, quite rightly, Therese, it's the same God. And yeah, I said, you're absolutely right. And there's certainly debate out there on if it is or it isn't. But there is so many similarities in our religions that a lot of them do lead back to the one God and just follow a different pathway. So I was thinking about this, and I was talking to a young man yesterday, Ketut, and he is a Balinese Hindu. His eldest sister married a Muslim and is now a Muslim, and his middle sister married a Christian and is now a Christian. So in their household, they celebrate Christmas, they celebrate Eid, they celebrate the, you know, hundreds and hundreds of Hindu ceremonies that happen in Bali every year, and they all respect each other. And I think that that's something that we all need to work towards, and something that I'm certainly trying to combat every single day, you know, to try and drive tolerance and promote, you know, respecting each other, because I think that to believe that we're ever going to be a world of one faith is just naive. We're never all going to be Muslims, we're never all going to be Christians, we're never all going to be Hindus or any other religion. So we don't really have any choice but to accept each other and to respect each other's beliefs and live in harmony to the best of our ability, because it's never going to be the same. And I wanted to also, you know, talk to you about like my friendship group in Bali, because there's so many people that I have met in Bali that are in interfaith relationships. So, you know, my friend Bunny is a Catholic and she's dating a Jewish man. My hairdresser just married a Muslim and didn't convert. The lady at the end of the street who goes to my gym, she's a Hindu and her partner's a Buddhist. You know, and the man I'm dating is a Muslim, and we all get along like a house on fire. And actually the differences between our nationality and our religious upbringing is something I really value in our conversations. And he teaches me things that I didn't know because I didn't grow up in them, and vice versa. And that's in relation to his country, his culture, my culture, his faith, my faith. And I think that, you know, for the preachers out there to take that time that is dedicated where people come to hear the word of God, to spread that message of marry somebody of your own faith, is irresponsible and infuriating to me. And you know, I'd like to put it out there for the preachers to think very carefully what you are telling your congregation, and to not take away the God-given right to every person in that room for them to choose to marry whoever it is they wish, because it is not your job and it is not your place to promote that. And, you know, maybe a bit of diversity within the home is a really, really great place to start for diversity, acceptance and tolerance in the world. So, yeah, if you're in an interfaith relationship, you know, I just want you to know that that is absolutely okay. And, you know, I'd love to hear your comments on that. I'd love to discuss this further, because I've had a real bee in my bonnet about this all week. And, yeah, I know that this afternoon, you know, my fella's flying in and we're going to have a fabulous time. And it doesn't matter that I'm a Christian, a blonde or an Aussie, because that's, you know, the way that the world needs to go and needs to be accepting of each other. And, you know, yeah, it's just something that I think we really need to work together with. And if you know anybody in that situation, then just, you know, support them in anything that they need. So that's it. That's what I wanted to talk to you about today. and sorry for jittering my way through that because I am extremely hungover. But have a happy Sunday, and I will see you next week with my last Facebook Live from Bali. See you later. Bye.